BBC Radio London. It's 2:16. Shay, Kaur, Gerwal here with you until 6 p.m. today. And I am asking for your thoughts on breastfeeding, how important it is, and what are some of the common difficulties. And although, yes, we can talk about the many benefits of breastfeeding, in the UK, we have some of the lowest breastfeeding rates in the world, with 8 out of 10 women stopping breastfeeding before they want to. And fundamentally, many say it's down to the lack of support, the pain, health issues, isolation, or even depression. So let's go to Sarah in West London. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
Yes, really good. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Lovely to speak to you. So I understand that you have 3 children. Is that right?
Yes, I have got 3 under 5.
And what was your breastfeeding journey like then?
So they've all been different. I definitely say that you should never compare any of your journeys. So with my first one, I think, like with most women, you know, you're learning something new. You're learning to create that bond with your child. And you briefly mentioned that in terms of the latching, you know, finding a way that's really comfortable for you and your baby. But then with my daughter, she had tongue tie, and I think that's something that lots of mums struggle with, and it's actually still not being sort of noticed early enough, if possible, especially if it's an anterior one. And so that was very difficult at the start. I had so much pain. I definitely experienced mastitis with all 3 of my children as well. And it's just something mentally, you know, for me, I so wanted to feed my children for quite some time. And so it was like going through that pain and knowing that it was only a phase, and doing everything that I can to work through it, as it were, and work through it together.
Why did you continue? Because, you know, I was mentioning at the beginning of the show that many women are unable to continue, even if they want to, because of the pain, but also because of the lack of support. So what was it for you that you felt that you wanted to continue? And as you say, the fact that you have gone through the breastfeeding journey with all 3 of your children as well.
For me, it was that bond, and knowing how the amount of nutrients that can go into your baby from what you eat, from how you exercise. You know, I'm a personal trainer and founder of London Mums Fitness, and so I encounter on a daily basis with loads of different women who all their different stories about their breastfeeding journeys. And lots of people, they stop because they feel that they can't exercise if they're breastfeeding. There's a lot of lack of knowledge out there, lots of lack of information. But for me, it doesn't last forever, and it was just so important to have that bond at the start. And it's a really nice calming time for me and my baby as well. I'm
so glad you mentioned that, because the one thing I did enjoy, I have to say, was, you know, I come from a big fat Punjabi family.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, everyone wanted to come around and, you know, especially when the baby's young. But what I used to love was the fact that I'd be like, oh, I've just got to go and feed her now. And it would be my time.
Oh, don't.
And I'd just leave them to it. And, you know, and unfortunately, my husband's son, he was always very encouraging. He'd be like, yeah, go. Just, you know, take as long as you need. Take 2 hours if need be. You know, just take your time. And you are right. It is that. In a very busy day, it is that one opportunity where you have to pause, don't you? You can't be walking and working and breastfeeding. It's not how it works. You have to pause completely. And take that time.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's so important. And because also it's about feeding your baby wherever as well, and not being ashamed to feed your baby wherever. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, you can go into a shop, you can pick up something to eat, and you can eat on the go. And you should be able to do that with your baby as well. And it makes me so sad that even now we're still hearing all these stories of people, you know, feeling anxious and nervous and stressed about feeding in public. I think that is something that we really need to speak more about.
It's quite interesting you mentioned that, and I'm going to share my story a little bit later on. But did you ever come across that, Sarah, if you were breastfeeding in public? Did you get any judgment, any eyes, any looks over the 3 children that you've had?
so many looks. I cannot begin to tell you, honestly. And I have fed my children, and I still do feed, well, I'm now just feeding my daughter. I feed her anywhere and everywhere, on a plane, at a bus stop if she's hungry, in a queue. And at the start when I first had my son and I first went to a restaurant, I'll never forget this time. I went into the toilet to feed my son because I didn't know what to do. And I thought, can I feed my son in public? Can I not? And then the more you get confident, the more you see, the more you're in your journey, the more you see that that you can feed your daughter or child, wherever and whenever, and you should not be frowned upon. And it still makes me sad to this day that people still look. With my son, I used to cover up, and I used to have this, this feed. And yes, I am respectful of where I am, absolutely. But if I'm in a coffee shop, for example, and I need to feed my baby, then I will, and I'm not ashamed to do so.
Do you know, I really am so taken back the fact that you just said there that you felt that you had to go into the toilets to feed your child. It's like, we wouldn't sit in the toilets and eat, would we?
Exactly.
And yet, as mothers, we feel, did you almost feel, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did you almost feel shame in some respect?
Kind of. And then, when people come up over to you and they sort of like look down, don't look. Let's just continue. Talk to me. My eyes are here, not down there. Talk to me. Yes, I feel that we shouldn't need to cover up. As I said, I'm totally there for being respectful of my surroundings, absolutely. But it's about, don't judge people. If anything, encourage, because breastfeeding doesn't last forever. It's such a magical and amazing thing. We should all be encouraging it, especially other women to other women. Encourage that journey. Don't put each other down.
Gosh, I'm so glad you say that, because I actually really miss it now. But at the time, I put so much stress on myself breastfeeding my daughter. I don't think I necessarily enjoyed it as much as I could have. And I look back now and I think I should have really soaked it up a lot more. But I am also very thankful that I was able to breastfeed. And I wonder, actually, Sarah, as you're talking, I'm just thinking about this, because the statistics are out there. We know breastfeeding, scientifically it's been proven, breastfeeding lowers your risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, obesity. Breast milk adapts as your baby grows to meet your baby's changing needs. There are so many health benefits of breastfeeding. And yet, in the UK, as a society, it has become a little bit of a stigma to breastfeed. Or at least breastfeed in public, to the point that this country now has the lowest rates of breastfeeding in comparatively to other parts of the world. Are you surprised by that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a shame, if I'm honest. I think we should definitely be encouraging a lot more. I think we definitely should be encouraging. I think in terms of the support side of things, it should be given to mothers a lot more when they're in hospital, and also when they get discharged as well, that you can and should breastfeed, and to tell the benefits of it. Lots of people go for the easy way out as well. And I think also when lots of mothers are looking to return to work, which we're definitely wanting to encourage, I think there should be, the guidelines out there should be a lot more, that we should encourage women, to go into rooms, or even just, express at your desk, for example. And once again, they shouldn't actually have to go to their rooms, and they should be able to feed when they return to work.
Don't get me started on expressing milk. I had bleeding nipples. I had chafed nipples. There was a point where I couldn't wear a bra because it was so sore. There were points where I thought, oh my gosh, my breasts are going to explode because I haven't expressed. I literally went through all the emotions.
It's so true. And the times when, my daughter, on the rare time, shall I say, that she sleeps through, I wake up in the morning and I'm ready to feed. Honestly,
come on, have this milk now.
Exactly. No, but I think, because there is the lack of information of things you can and can't do, in terms of, people think that you have to have fed your baby or expressed, for example, before you exercise. No, you don't. You can exercise as long as it's comfortable. It's just, people think that that if you exercise and then you feed your baby straight away, that your baby's going to have lots of lactic acid in the milk. That's not the case. It's all a myth. You can breastfeed and exercise at the same time, and it's these facts and these pieces of information that we need to get out there clearly. And I think also what you mentioned about we're all quite busy and quite rushed. I think because it is a phase, we need to stop, or we need to slow down. As a society, women as well need to slow down, especially if you're on your second, third or fourth child. You need to take that time. We need to pause. Time is so fast-paced. Life is so fast-paced. I think it's important. And for me, with 3 children, having that time with my daughter, it really is that time for me to stop.
So soak it up, honestly, Sarah. You know more than anyone. I suspect they grow up so fast. It's such a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for calling to Shay. You mentioned you're the founder of London Mums Fitness. Is there a website if anyone wants further details?
Yes, London Mums Fitness, so that's LDN Mums Fitness, and we're also on Instagram as well, LDN Mums Fitness.
Well, hopefully we can get you on and talk about that in the future, but thank you for being so open and sharing your breastfeeding journey. Thanks for calling into the show today.
Thank you so much, Shay.
Thanks again.
You.
Sarah in West London there. Goodness, some real strong thoughts to digest.